Hello, good everyone. My name is Famous, and I'm the anchor here in this channel. So, anyway, it's been a while. I did a proper YouTube video. Even the last one I did, it wasn't edited. Yeah, it's so because anyway, I've been away from Philippines, so I'm back home in my home country, Nigeria. So, I've had a lot of run around to do. So, doing YouTube back home could be a little bit challenging because of a lot of factors. Besides, there's a whole lot of things I need to focus on than staying online than YouTube videos. I'm not saying the YouTube videos are less important to me, but there are a whole lot of other things I really need to do. So the reason for this topic today is 12th February 2022. So the reason for this video today is just to tell for some students. The last proper video I did was how to get your COVID test done, like returning travelers or returning students coming back to Nigeria. I did that when I was in Manila. So you have to do your COVID test and all that. So now, this video is just to encourage those people. There've been a lot of students, a lot of inquiries about admission to Philippines. Because of the lockdown, a lot of countries they've had travel restrictions because of lockdown. So, but most countries now they've been allowing students to come in because. Now that the vaccine is available, so students can start coming in and start coming in. But Philippines per se, the restrictions are still there for students. But there's a good news. Now the good news now is those students that actually traveled back home. During when the COVID-19, when students were told to stay home, like my college, it was March 16th, 2020, we asked to remain at home to start online classes. So a lot of students, because of panic, they had to travel back to their home country. So, and some of them, their visa expired in their home country. So now that Philippines, they've opened the borders for students to come in. Some of them they don't have visa anymore. So for those that have expired visa, now they can of course apply for visa in their home country, but there's an additional document you will need. Certificate of clearance, a clearance certificate. That one you need to get it from Ministry of Foreign Affairs in that DFA, Department of Foreign Affairs in the Philippines there. So for those students that their visa have expired that intend to return back to the Philippines, you need to get after getting your visa, you must get a certificate of clearance from the you must get that document from Department of Foreign Affairs. That means you have to contact somebody in Philippines to get you that document per se. Now, of course, we all know, maybe not everybody knows that when applying for admission in the Philippines, most most times your documents are being done by someone in the Philippines. The admission is done by someone in the Philippines, and it's being couriered to you because you know an attorney need to stamp and all that need to do some stamping on the document. Then it has to be sent hard copy to you. So that's also how this one is. Once your the certificate of eligibility, no, I don't think that's. I think there's a certificate. I'll get proper information about that. It will be. I think it has to be sent to you also, so that you can apply. Now, for another good news is this: for the very first timer students, because of this pandemic, a lot of students have not been able to come to Philippines. So for first timer students, uh, yes, some countries can still apply for admission and get their visa in their home country. Then again, for first timers, at a point, the embassy or they were only immigration was only attending to those students that already those old students, that is students that already had admission before, but now they've opened it up to also first timers, meaning if you've not been to the Philippines before, you can also apply for admission. Then apply for admission, you get your admission, then also get your certificate of eligibility. So here's the thing now. Before now, it's just admission letter you need. But now what you need is admission letter and certificate of eligibility. So those two documents must come with you. Those two documents must be done before you can of course you apply for visa before you can come into the Philippines. So now first timers, please take note of that, and where to do that document is Department of Foreign Affairs. So those intending students that intend to study in the Philippines, once you contact your agent or whoever is working for you in the Philippines, you have to tell them to add that certificate of eligibility. So that is the information I've come to give you guys this early morning. And also, you should also be aware that I would advise you to also do your COVID vaccine before leaving your home country. Yeah, if you're not a fan of COVID-19, COVID vaccine, it's okay, but before you travel, you should check the airline policy. You should check the airline policy of a departure so that you can do your COVID test in time, because there are some airlines like I remember when I was returning from Philippines, uh, Qatar Airways, we want you to do your COVID test 24 hours, not later than 24 hours. They want a COVID test that is valid from the time you took swab, not when the result came out, from the time you took swab, not later than 24 hours when you took swab before your flight departs. So I remember when I wanted to return, I took my swab 25 hours or so, so I wasn't allowed to fly because of that swab. That's my result. It shows that I did my swab 25 hours. So at the point of when they were checking me in there, I said my test was not I was not eligible to fly because of my test. So you need to check the airline, their COVID policy, their COVID test policy. You need to know the timing so that you know the exact time to do your test. So that, like mine, I have to do my test 3 times. I had to waste a lot of money to do that. So you need to go to the airline you're taking and find out the timing, what time it shouldn't be more than the required time they need. Now, another thing I have two set of advice for the airline, for students who intend to travel, those that have been in the Philippines before that intend to return back to, let me use Nigeria now, those that intend to come back to Nigeria. One big advice I would, if you intend to return back to school, to college, I would advise you to do a return ticket. Why? Because I noticed that flying from Nigeria now is extremely expensive, unlike before. Okay, initially when I flew, my return ticket was worth, at that time, it was worth less than $1,000. So then, which was 2017 or 2018. Yeah, it was less than $1,000 return ticket. But now, if you're flying from Nigeria, Qatar Airways, it's over $4,000 for a one-way ticket. Over $1,000 for a one-way ticket. So I would advise those coming to Nigeria, buy a return ticket. With a return ticket, you can get it hopefully less than $2,000. But if if you just buy one-way ticket, fine, you can get it within $1,000 also, one-way ticket to Nigeria. But if you're returning back, now I'm using the case of I'm using Qatar Airways as critical scenario. Now this information I'm giving you is based on what I've noticed this period, that is within the period of September 2021 to currently today, which is February 11th, 2022. This is what I've noticed. The cost of flying to Philippines is extremely high now. It's extremely high because of the available seats in those airlines. So for Qatar Airways is way over $4,000. So I would advise those coming to Nigeria, get a two-way ticket. Then those new students, I want you to also put it in mind that you'll be spending up to such amount to fly. Now you might have alternative, but I'm just talking from my own experience, not as if mine is a standard. So you'll be spending close to 4,000 or if not more than $4,000 because that is what Qatar Airways, which has been the major airline in that route, that's what they've been charging. They'll give you full economic, which is Yankee class. So that's what they give. I don't know why they did that. Maybe it's because of business or they're trying to maximize. Now because they don't have a lot of passenger compared to before, so they're trying to meet up with their seats. Anyway, I don't know about that, but my advice for new students: put that in mind that you're spending close to $4,000. So for now, those you could now Manila is not just the only airport you could land. Anyway, depends on the location of your university, but you can also land in Clark, or Cebu. So Manila is okay, Clark is okay, Cebu is also fine. But I think Cebu's ticket is quite cheaper a little bit. The difference is like it's between let's say $200 compared to $300 compared to Manila ticket. But I think also Clark ticket is also a little bit quite cheaper compared to Manila ticket. Now these are my experiences, what I've noticed this period, but I don't work for the airline, so prices could change. They could release a cheaper seat, but as at currently, which I've been following up for over 4 months. So this has been what I've been seeing. Then for those that intend to return, I would advise instead of returning through I think Manila also have some cheap airline. Yeah, they also have some cheap seats. So you could return from anywhere, but please, if you have the money, buy a return ticket back to the Philippines. So these are just the little information I intend to share with you guys. So of course, for new students, you should please take note of that. So admission letter and the certificate of eligibility. Of course, once those documents get to you, then you can start putting together your required document, which of course you need to put together your certificate, age declaration, sponsor letter, account statement, all those letters, and you need to certify them at Ministry of Foreign Affairs here in Abuja. So of course the embassy is here in Abuja. You need to certify your document at Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Then you could be ready for the interview. So anyway, I'm going to do another follow-up video on this. The follow-up video would be the current required document you need to travel to the Philippines. So there I'm going to be detailed about the required document you need to hold for you to travel to the Philippines this year, which is 2022. So I hope this video will reach someone out there and could be helpful to someone out there. If you have a question to ask, you could email me. Directly. Then I will try as much as possible to respond. So thank you for listening to this my short video. Please do not hesitate to subscribe, like, and share my content. If there's any particular topic you really want me to talk about, I will definitely do it, because basically my forte, my area is here in this channel. It's all about travels, student admission, study abroad, and all that. So if you have any topic you really want me to talk about, you can write me, then I'll do something about that. All right. Thank you once again, and bye bye.